Hello guys, how's it going? We are soon to get started with the winner bracket final of the draft tournament, which is between Aiko's team, that's 4 aces, and Shox's team, that's Lucky 7. It's a bit of a hype matchup, this, I think. I think Aiko's team may be a bit of a favourite here, but L7 have been doing really well so far in the tournament, also making it to this winners bracket final. I don't know what that was. Looks like Aiko's squad are ready. This will be a best of 5. And yes, as Barsam says in the chat, that's the map list. Sid, Deck, and Space are guaranteed. Overlord and Nitro will be needed if we go to a 4-5 map. But yes, this will determine who gets a spot in the grand final. And then whoever loses this has to go and play Znatch's team when his amp down in the lower bracket final. I think we're just waiting for someone to stop lagging. SKL maybe. But yeah, interesting map. If I had to guess, I think I would guess that this would be Shox's map pick, Lucky 7. Could be wrong on that. But I think Aiko's team would do better on deck. But then again, who knows? Actually, a lot of 2K4 players in this matchup. 2K4 players for whom this is their first UT4 tournament, so good showing by the 2K4 TDM players. SKL's now ready, so we should be getting going on pretty soon. These headphones, Alia, are the ones I fixed. The massive engineering effort using very expensive laser welding machine that we haven't worked because I couldn't, because headphone wires have this weird enamel coating on them and they stop you from being able to solder them back together, even if you burn the coating off. So I had to laser weld them together. This map, I haven't seen it all too much in the tournament so far. I think we haven't seen it since the group stage. In my opinion, one of the better maps in the pool. It's a bit more complicated, so generally expect to see some teams really not enjoy it, and some teams enjoy it quite a lot. This sniper position that we're seeing right now is important. Generally teams will put at least 2, sometimes 3 players up here, because it gives you control of the 100 and the sniper rifle, and potentially the amp room if you play your cards right. Anyway, the teams are ready. I'm going to switch to the game screen. We're going to get underway. Have funds are called in the chat. Here we go. Map 1, of course, of a best of 5, for those of you just joining.
3, 2, 1.
Cyborg who picked up the first shock rifle. So this shock area is sort of in the back end of the map, but you can put a player here. I know last draft cup team I was in played 2 on the 100, and then I played down by the flak cannon at the belt, and then we had 1 player at the shock. But looks like Cyborg going for the sniper position. Other side of the map is target rich, and they've guaranteed themselves the first 100. But they have given up the first 50. That went to Aiko, who's just yoinked Cyborg off the top position. That's pretty funny. Go to Kevlar. He's the player with the 100 armor. But the belt's coming up in about 10 seconds, and Kevlar is going to go down here. Looks like 4 aces are in a better position. Shock's actually moving in with a link gun. Cleans up 1 player, but goes down himself. Belt goes to Aiko. 100 armor's, of course, up. That's going to go to Aljas. Oh, he goes down. Sunraiser's saving that 100 for his team. Let's follow him. He's earned the player cam. And the 50 armor went to Kevlar, so even split on the armors. And fairly even first start. First couple minutes of the game. Player's already setting up in this central room. The amp is below where Sunraiser is. He's prepared to drop in it, and he probably will be the player for L7. Oh, no, it goes to Cyborg. Cyborg's only got 30 health, though. They really want this amp on Sunraiser. That works. Actually probably good that Cyborg died there. Sunraiser unable to hit the shot, which would have denied the 100 armor, but Aljas going to get away with that. And Sunraiser's looking for players. He does have the boots. I don't know what that was about. Maybe a bit of lag. But nobody's showing themselves. He's got these 2 boot charges. He could be using these to move around the map, but instead opts not to. And it's Aljas who comes up behind him with a flat cannon. Aljas, he knows his 100 armor's up. But he's the only player from 4 aces that I've seen push the 100. Maybe they've been taking note of Aljas's 100 armor stats throughout the tournament and decided he can solo this position. But lead slowly actually creeping away from L7 a bit. Sid Castle can be one of those maps that's relatively low scoring because it is a bit labyrinthine. Oh, a nice push attempt by J-Ski, but I think that 100 armor is going to go to Cyborg in the end. Let's follow him. And it's a situation with the belt and the amp both coming up. SKL's already on the belt, noticing that he has almost full health stack. But on the other hand, lots of armor on the side of L7. Aljas goes down. Cyborg's going to jump for this amp. Taken away from him by Sunraiser. Okay, he will drop the amp. Okay, I like that move by Cyborg. Going up, he had the boots to make sure he didn't have to risk going up the lift. Oh, but the switch is painful on the sniper, and he just goes down despite the health advantage. Looking over to the left to see who picks up that amp. Kevlar does have 100 armor. There we go. What? Did he not? Okay. We'll go to Cyborg in the end. But I don't think any kills off the back of that amp run, which is unfortunate. Although the lead has slightly diminished. Especially after that nice link gun double kill there. 4 aces only up by 7. Cyborg potential to deny the 100 armor. Didn't need the headshot, but hits it anyway. Stylish. And this belt's on its way up. You see Sunraiser and J-Ski shocks all over there already. It's a Black versus Link fight. Second one we've seen up here. J-Ski actually dives down, and Link Gun will go to the team that had 2 players there as opposed to 1. Did I say Link Gun? Shield belt. Shock's trying to clean up with the Link. And this lead is down to 5. Another 100 armor goes to Sunraiser. Very strong 100 armor control for L7. Only giving up 1 so far. Obviously opting to have as many players up there as possible. But Aiko's got his hands on the amp. And he will go down. J-Ski picks it up, but only 17 health. Linked in the butt. And the lead still +5, so the game is pretty much stabilized. Sunraiser doesn't want to lose that last 3 HP. Give up the last third of this amp run. Just going to burn the amp down in the Siva. Another 100 armor going to Cyborg. So 3, 3, and 2 100 armor pickups for L7. So much damage. Nice combo and shock work by Cyborg there, keeping himself alive, but he does have to back away. Aiko making a concerted effort to push for this 100 position since he does have stack. And this 100's up pretty shortly. We'll go to Aljas. So, worrying signs of your L7. This 100 armor position is keeping you in the game at the moment, keeping things close. And if you give that up, then that's sort of your last bastion of defense, and the score might start to slip again. Sunraiser caught in between 2 players there. And I think Aljas is getting another 100 armor for free. Leads up to almost 10 now. Lots of stack on the side of 4 aces. The shield belt, the amps just come up as well. Who did the belt go to? The belt went to Jayski. This is really bad if you're L7. You essentially lost the 100, the belt, and the amp all in the matter of about 10 seconds, and they're probably going to lose this next 100 armor, given where Aiko is positioned. Ooh, great flak ball and flak work by Sunraiser, and I think he's just cleaned up the two really high armor players. Al just goes down as well. Oh, unfortunately, Sunraiser didn't have the team support, and Jayski's going to get that 100 armor, but great play by him. Did like 400 damage with that flak cannon there. Put up these stats quickly. Damage, a bit of a lead for 4 aces, and that's probably where they're... Oh! I thought he got pancaked there, but no. Belt's up pretty soon. Blue in positions. SK on that. He goes... Oh, nearly goes down to that shock combo. That would have been huge from shocks. Unfortunately, just a second too late, and Al just got the 100 on the other side of the map, so both major armors, again, going to 4 aces. Great sniper work. Under so much pressure there. But bit of a setup for this amp. Aljas going to go back for the 100. He's one of those players that likes to play nice and consistently. See, now he knows, he got himself to a position where he knows the 100's up and behind him and no one else can get there. And only then does he start to support the amp fight. Very consistent player. Surviving on 1 HP. SKL this time with the amp, and the scoreline is getting a bit one-sided, especially as these amps and 100s start to go the opposite direction to where they were before. Shield belt, I didn't see him pick that up. Might have been Aiko, because yeah, he's around the shield belt and he is on shield belt minus sniper health. But looks like L7 got 100 armor in the hands of Sunraiser. Another one's coming up in 10 seconds. Al just gets shredded midair. So that's their 100 player down for 4 aces. Potential for another 100 here. Jayski looking like he doesn't want to catch a flak ball, but Aiko's comes storming into the room. We saw him earlier grabbing health under this belt, and now he's solo holding the 100, but eventually goes down to some nicely placed rockets. Score lead is now 14, so a bit of stability brought back to the game by that 100 armor grab. Kevlar has a lot of HP underneath it as well, and this amp's coming up soon. He still has a boot charge as well, so that will help him get right into the middle of the action as soon as he gets this amp, which I assume he'll go for. Oh, Aiko gets headshot dropping onto the amp. The amp will go to Cyborg actually. Let's follow him. So opting for the low stack player on the amp, maybe because he wants to go for this 100 armor. He has just heard it spawn. Oh, he's missed the jump though, that's crucial. As Jayski comes in with the shield belt that he just picked up. Cyborg missing some shots. There we go, hits a nice one. Jayski goes down, that's the shield belt dead, and now Cyborg will get himself onto the 100. But, okay, does hit a shot eventually. So only 2 kills off the back of that amp run, but they did kill the belt player, which is important because that was 4 aces only super stack player. Score lead is now down to 10, so L7 bringing this back. And Aiko surely will go down here as well, in between several players. Actually, he's extricated himself quite nicely. There we go. Cyborg up to a killing spree. That rocket was perfectly placed. And will win the 100 armor. Shield belt as well. It's just been taken. Don't know who got that. And look, the damage lead is now down to like 200. Was about 600 or 700 earlier. Don't know why there are fights going on at the belt. It's not up for a little while. As opposed to the 100, which is up in just a second. Aljas, he's fighting Sunraiser for it. Sunraiser's backing onto it, but he dies before he picks it up. And now this amp's available. Will Al just jump for it? No, Aiko will pick it up. He's only got 10 HP though. Needs to not get enforced by Kevlar there. Oh, he goes down. Overkill with the sniper rifle. And that's going to give Cyborg the amp. He's got a bit of stack as well. So he will survive a direct rocket or a flak cannon shot. And the 50 just spawned. Oh, look at the windows. That could have been spicy, but nobody's shown themselves. Cyborg really wants to help defend this 100 armor. Oh, Aljas is going to get onto it. Oh, just a split second too late on that sniper. And I didn't see who got that belt. But given that only 2 belts have gone the way of L7, I have to assume it went to 4 aces. Score lead is still 10, so we've stabilized. But every time we stabilize, L7 have a score to make up for. Aljas is getting punished because he seems to be the only player on 4 aces pushing for this 100 sometimes. Echo though, now he's gonna hit some nice rockets. Yeah, he released his diss track in the form of the Baguette movie yesterday, striking fear in the hearts of all his opponents. You see him go for the air rocket. Won't connect this time. Belt's coming up. That's probably gonna go to SKL. Oh, Shox nearly got himself on that belt there. That could have been SKL trying to be a bit too stylish, baiting the belt for just a second. But does pick it up. They got the 100 as well, and Kevlar, he's pretty low with this amp. So if L7 lose this one, scoreline could start to mount again. Unable to hit the shots. Now Jayski's got the amp. 4 aces have just about everything. Taking out spawners. 100 armor will go to them as well. That stray rocket nearly caught Jayski. And a request from Smalls to show some Shox gameplay. He is doing a shitload of damage, up there with Eiko. Only minus about 100. I believe Shox is the belt player. Oh no, I don't even know where that flat cannon shot came from. And Jayski will get another belt. But Shox, yeah, he's obviously doing a lot of damage, but they're just missing out on these belts, and that's got a lot to do with this score difference we're seeing. Now up to almost 20. Game's starting to slip away. 1.5 minutes left. There is 1 amp remaining. This amp run has to be explosive. Otherwise, L7 pretty much just auto-lose. Shox making a move, but didn't look before he jumps. 2 players are there. Someone lands a nice combo on him. Amp goes to Eiko. He dies instantly, though. Cyborg making a beeline for that amp. He does have a sniper, but only 54 health. Gets the first shot onto Aljas. 15 frag deficit to make up for, pretty much. Lots of players spawning in front of Cyborg here. Could get a few kills here. Aljas goes down a second time. Belt's up in 5. Will Cyborg push it? I think he probably could. Jayski goes down. Cyborg goes down eventually. And the amp is back in the hands of 4 aces. They made that really messy for L7. That's all they have to do. 40 seconds left. Roughly a 15 frag score lead. This is out of reach, I'm afraid. So let's pull up these stats and have a look. So extremely close damage in the final couple minutes. I feel like if we'd seen one team take the lead in the last couple minutes rather than in the first couple minutes, the game would have been a lot closer all the way throughout. Because it was quite stable other than a couple of bursty minutes where 4 aces got a bunch of frags. Of course, first match of the day. Players maybe not hitting as much as they normally would, or timing as well as they normally would. We are in it for the long run. It's a best of 5. 2 maps remaining guaranteed. Potential for another 4. But we're going on to deck now. And if I don't know who picked the maps, or which team picked the maps. So I'm going to speculate. I would assume that this map was L7's pick. And deck would be 4 aces pick. Having said that though, I don't actually think there's a big difference on these maps. I think poor Ace is not as strong on deck as they are on other maps. Still a strong team. They got a player like Eiko who can dominate, but deck, you know, not Eiko's home map in the sense that it is the home map of someone like Znatch. Still a force to be reckoned with. I think what will be crucial here is the amps, because on deck, if you just give up every amp, you lose. Usually. We saw a slightly different story the other day in Znatch's lower bracket map. But generally, it's really hard to do all the damage you need to on deck if you don't get enough amps. And Eiko's one of those players. His specialty is amp runs, pretty much. Sniper amp runs. There is no map better suited to sniper amp runs than deck. I think Nitro close second in that regard, which will be seen today, I believe. Inappropriate questions being asked in the chat. Alright, AK's team are ready. Just waiting on L7. Here we go. Have fun is called. We're on to game 2. Potential to go 1-1 here. Or 2-0. A map that we've seen a couple times be really very close. But it always seems like the team that wins 3-0 wins the close maps on deck, so hopefully for L7 they can break that curse. It's a really dangerous place to stand, Shocks. First 100's coming up. Aljas all over that. Sunraiser did attempt, but was executed in the air before he could crater onto the 100 armor position. Belts up in 10. Fairly even first minute, 5-6. That usually happens on deck because so many players get so many guns that you just frag out until the big armors spawn. Cyborg dies before he hits the belt, but Kevlar's there to back him up. Shock's got a 50 armor as well, so 200 to the 100 of Aljas, but Kevlar's just lost that entire belt because he didn't have a gun. Aljas still with most of his armor. As his Shocks... Oh, multi-kill by Aljas. As he moves into the middle of the map, looking for some heads. First amp up in 3 seconds. SKL, he's got a bit of health. J-Ski, also only a bit of health. 2 red players down there. Shock's gonna jump for it, but Sunraiser kills him with a full bio. I can't believe it. Hang on, my cat needs assistance. Okay, crisis has been averted. That's not on it on the floor in the end. We'll get back into the game. Looks like a bit of a lead built by 4 aces, up by 10. And with another amp in the hands of Aiko. Cyborg goes down. Looks like that 100 armor is being secured as well. Oh, actually Sunraiser picks it up. But lost a lot of health already. Oh, I thought he was going to crater in the goo there. Belt's up in 10. All of the players on red seem to be down by this 100 armor. Cyborg does ping SKL off the belt, but he gets away. And that 100 armor's already gone off whoever it was who grabbed it. Scoreline starting to build, and I'm a bit worried that L7 have lost complete control of this this map already. Yeah, players rushing up the ramp without guns as well. Nice headshot. But 2 players up top, ready for the amp, but Shox, he's going to steal that away. Needs to watch his back though. J-Ski nearly flaks him in the arse, but a cheeky double kill. Oh god, he's picked up a bug sniper rifle, it's broken the FOV. Oh, this is horrible. I'm going to switch away. Belt's up in a few seconds. Sunraiser, I don't think he knew about it because he didn't jump. J-Ski's gone for it. The flak bombs from Cyborg, not enough to deter J-Ski, but he's already lost his health, didn't have any guns, didn't do any damage there. And it's Sunraiser with another 100 armor. Scoreline's actually down to plus 10. So L7 putting up a fight. And damage is not, it's, you know, by no means one-sided. Shox, lots of damage for his team. Aiko as well. Oh, what a headshot. That absolutely saved Sunraiser there. That shot combo was going to kill him. He steals that 100 armor from his teammate, who probably wanted it more than him, considering he was maxed. But sometimes you just got to deny them from the opponent. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 20 seconds, because the belt and the amp are coming up at the same time. So generally, the team that takes the top in these situations is going to be better off. Kevlar seems like he's up there all alone. Only on 20 health though. Yeah, you can see he wants to drop for that belt. He has a teammate on it. Cyborg picks that up. Kevlar now looking towards the amp. SKL's there. SKL probably wants to jump for it. He can hear somebody hammering. It was Aiko. He jumped up for that amp. And I'm noticing that Cyborg's belt's gone, so that's their choice of major power-up to go for has already lost its impact. Scoreline's only plus 6 now, though. Aiko's not having much impact on this amp run. I think he's killed 1 player. Looking for Cyborg. There's 2 people, though, that he's trying to shoot 180 degrees from each other. And Cyborg contesting well. And Aiko goes down. Another belt and another 100 up pretty shortly. I think Aljas, presumably, yeah, 800 armors for Aljas. I didn't even look at the name, I just look at whoever has the most hundreds and assume it's Aljas. He's so good at grabbing hundreds that even when there's 2 people stood in it at the same time, it always goes to him. And belt went to his teammate Aiko, who we're watching now. And I'm worried that we're going to see the same thing we saw last game, where there are moments of stability in the game, but every time one team pulls ahead, that team happens to be 4 aces. Damage lead's now over 1,000. It was only about 500 a minute ago. I'll just get another 100. Aiko prep for the amp run. Actually misses the jump. Ooh, and gets knocked off the second time. Amp's probably going to go... No, never mind. It's going to go to J-Ski. He will die to 1 sniper shot though, so he needs to watch his back. But he's chosen a really good position to have a low HP amp run, because he's got teammates up top helping him out, and he can also shoot down into the 100 armor position, so it's a nice safe place to sort of maximize your impact with an amp, even if you don't have much health. Oh, nice. Does get traded out though by Cyborg, who picked up the last 100 armor. Scoreline is now 52 to 72, so 20 difference. Still 6 minutes left, but you're going to have to work all the way through those 6 minutes to make up a scoreline like this. You'll need to see some serious control. Cyborg actually kills himself as Al just jumps down. They both went down. 100 armor went to Eiko though. And he's just dealt a serious amount of damage there with that combo. Scoreline still plus 20. All 4 aces need to do is trade roughly 1 for 1. And they win this game. But you don't want to take your foot off the gas pedal in situations like this. You can see them still getting these belts, still getting 100 armors, and they're also trying to set up for this amp. Oh, Aiko's just had the best spawn ever for this amp. We'll go to SKL. And the 50's up as well. Score lead still over 1,000. We're seeing 6 to 3 amps, 12 to 6. I don't know, 6 to 3 belts. Twice as much amp time, 12 to 600 armors. Big lead on the armors, and also the damage front. It's going to make it very difficult to win map-like deck. If you're not doing the damage on deck through raw aim, then your only option is to get as many power-ups as possible to make up for that. So when you go up against a team that has both, generally have difficulty. Now almost up to a 30 score lead. So SKL goes on a tear. Another belt goes to 4 aces. It's now 73. You see those shocks, damage-wise, still very much on par with Eiko, who typically we see at the top of the scoreboard. So I don't think it's a big damage problem for SKL. They have the raw firepower needed to take on 4 aces. I think it really is just having the raw firepower impact and all the armors as well. There's lots of TDM experience on the side of 4 aces, even if it's not in this game. But the depth on their team allows them to get all these major items for free. See Eiko diving in there, knowing exactly when their belt's up. And it's the TDM experience that allows you to get back on the power-ups and the armors after you've lost them. So you can start off the game with massive control all over the items. But once you lose it, it can be very difficult get it back. And typically we've been seeing the teams that have more experience, players like Snatch especially on deck, remaining aware of the items all throughout the game, and I feel like as a team 4 aces are just really good at that, and it's making it very difficult for L7 in this game. Oh, damage as well, yeah, in the last couple of minutes damage has gone massively in the way of 4 aces. But that wasn't necessarily the case. They're only about 1,000 behind with 5 minutes left, which is absolutely something you can make up for. You just need 1 amp run to wipe the enemy team, and then next couple minutes you'll make up that damage difference. 1 final amp is spawning. Good headshot by Aljas. Amp goes to J-Ski. Cosplaying as UTM4 here with the bio, but only UTM4 can beat UTM4 with the bio rifle. Nearly up to a plus 40 scoreline, 2 minutes left. I think we missed something entertaining off screen. Oh, Sunrise shot into the roof in craters, no! Unfortunate. Now, I could record that with a replay, but I already have the bio fail from earlier recorded, which is very entertaining. Is he going to crater again? No, Echo denies him. Denies him that he has his right to suicide. Sunraiser just loves the fall damage. Did actually get away with that 100, but not much you can do with a minute and a half left. There will be one final amp run. I had to guess. I'll probably go to 4 aces. But what's interesting is double the amp time, but the same amp grabs. Suggesting that just the setup and the team support on all those amps is just better for 4 aces. So while L7, you saw shocks a couple times, stealing the amp away, didn't live very long with it. Case in point, that counts as an amp grab there, but only 1 or 2 seconds off the back. I think the amp's in the water. Okay, went for a swim. Yeah, it is in the water. But this is going to make the rest of the series very, very difficult for L7. Have to win 3 in a row. Assuming this is 4 aces map pick, which based on the scoreline I think is probably a safe assumption. Could be wrong there though. Assuming this was 4 aces map pick, then this will go into L7's map pick, so they've got a bit of an advantage next map in that regard. But either way, they've lost a map pick already. Okay, 12 seconds left. Let's put up the score. About 1,500 damage lead. 2.5, sorry. Which is not insurmountable. But just felt like the control completely petered out on the side of L7. Let's put up this replay. This is I believe this is a bio fail. Yeah, Sunraiser shocks jumps for the bio here, and Sunraiser nukes him. Never mind. Right, on to map 3. Match point here for 4 aces. I don't think anyone's surprised that 4 aces are looking to be in the grand final. But this has been quite dominant. Map list, let me check. The next map is Spacer. If L7 wins Spacer, then we go into Overlord, and then Nitro as the decider. But the way things went on deck, I don't know if we're going to get there. I feel like L7 just haven't shown us what's needed to take down 4 aces. You know, they've got pretty close damage, but they're not pairing it with great item control, which 4 aces definitely are. Eiko's left the game. Interesting. And he's back. The Spacer, as I always say, is a bit more of a tactical map. It is open, so you can have a lot of impact with things like amp runs. Because you can basically get anywhere. Like, as soon as you get the amp, within 2 seconds you can be in any of the 4 big rooms that are on the map. Because you can drop straight down to the belt. But you need to get to the amp and the belt early. Because the belt's in a really risky position to jump for. Oh, the amp, sorry. In a really risky position to jump for, because you're just open to all angles, and the belt is way back against the wall. And if you're not set up there nice and early, then good luck pushing in. You need to hit just about everything. Anyway, Shox is ready. Okay, 1 second. So we should be starting shortly. Just waiting for SKL to get back. Oh. was a nice rocket. My cat's asking me to let him back in, but I'm not going to do that. Not after what he did. Anyway, game is starting. Let's jump into the game screen. And this is L7's last opportunity to stay in the winner bracket and guarantee themselves a place in the final. If they lose this, they will go straight to the loser bracket final, play against Snatch's team, who have been on a bit of a rampage down there in the lower bracket. Of course, they were knocked down earlier in a close 3-0 to 4 aces. Closer than this one, in my opinion. So, based on form, I would say that L7 really don't want to end up in that lower bracket final. The first 100 goes to Cyborg. And he gets away with a bit of that armor remaining. Let's stay on his POV. And the all-important 25 armor also goes to red. But belts up in 12. Sees Cyborg already getting down there, and there's players from 4 aces there as well. But he's just been headshot, I think. That's 2 HP, and he's not hitting any shots. Unfortunate. Jayski's actually sat on the belt. Oh, how's he got away with that? He's on 5 HP. He had his back to Shocks with the impact hammer out the whole time. And only at the end, that's outrageous. But has lost all the belt, and Sunraiser gets away with a 300 armor. And that position there that Aiko died in is really strong. You can sit up there with a shock rifle and just do so much damage. It's kind of like the upper bio position on deck. Sunraiser not hitting anything with his flak, so there goes all that 100 armor, and Aljas gets away with his own 100. Oh, I missed the first amp grab. That was in the hands of Kevlar. But he goes down. Sunraiser, he picks it up on 11 health. He goes down. So many people jumping for that amp, but it does go to Jayski. He's actually got decent health. 180 shot onto Cyborg, another one onto Kevlar. And that has made this belt situation very dire for L7. Oh, this is not the start they were after. They definitely deserved that first belt, but second one firmly in the hands of L7. Still only a 5 frag difference though. Plenty of time. As Jayski goes down to Cyborg. Waiting on this 100. I think Shock's gonna get it. He'll get it. So let's follow him. Oh, someone gets up close to his face with flat cannon. Shocks goes down there, only good for 1 kill. So 100 armor neutralized by some good team play by 4 aces. And now Shocks is 1v1ing someone with a rocket launcher. Oh, Aiko comes up behind and farms him. Amp and belt are synchronized though for the first time this game. Always interesting to see which power up the teams prioritize, or if they split it. Looks like 2 players down low for blue. Don't know who was up top, but Amp went to L7. Cyborg's picked that one up, and he's going to sit in this strong position here. He's got a bit of team support as well. Does need to peek out and shoot some heads off. Nobody showing himself. Cyborg not being super proactive with this. Amp run, massive double kill combo. What a play by Cyborg. Oh my god. Absolutely huge. That was amazing. There you go. It's Cyborg there clipping it for his frag maybe. That was sick. Man, what a treat. Belt up pretty soon though. Oh, actually, I assumed when I looked at the score that it was 4 aces ahead, but it's L7 in the lead. I don't know if that just happened or if it was always like that. Aiko did walk onto that belt and steal it, though. $100 armor goes to Sunraiser, so lots of armor still on the side of L7. Cyborg still has his 100 from earlier. But Sunraiser's just gone down. Loads of players, especially one player just spawning up here by the sniper rifle. That's huge for this amp. It's just about to spawn. Aiko's in great position to jump for it. He still has a bit of stack as well. So he will pick that one up. And now he's going straight over towards the 100 to help his teammate. Al just picks it up. And Cyborg loses his armor. So 10 frag difference here is being diminished by this amp run from Eiko. Man, Eiko this past minute, between the last belt picking up and this one, he must have got like 6 or 7 frags. And that has blown the game wide open. Now only a 6 frag lead for L7. Make that 5. Well, make that 6 again because Jaski killed himself on the wall. But actually damage lead for red team. And it's not off the back of any one individual player, all really close in damage. Shock's ahead as per usual, but only by a couple hundred. So real team effort here by L7. But the lead is slipping from their grasp, only up by 4 now. Admittedly, a chance for them to get either one of these 2 major items. Eiko goes down as well. Which, depending on what gun he gets off the spawn, it could be a good or a bad thing. Looking like... Oh, he hasn't got a gun. So, Shox will get the amp almost for free. He wants that HP, though. He should probably drop this amp and sniper for a teammate, but he's just not hitting his shots. Nice attempt there, but he's run out of ammo on the sniper. That's horrible, because pushing up here is really risky. Oh, it does hit a ton of link though, so nicely done by Shox. Looking for a spawner. There we go. Nuked by Aljas around the corner. So not a huge amp run, but actually just denying that amp from the enemy team has done wonders, because they've just secured another 100 armor. SKL with the remains of the belt on the other side of the server. Oh god, the Enforcer. That's so tilting to watch. Belt up in 6, lots of players here already for L7, but 4 aces have come storming in and everyone goes down. It's going to go to SKL. He's a player that throughout this tournament has been all over the belts, actually. Very defined roles here on the side of L7, on the side of 4 aces, sorry. If he had kept the flat cannon out there, that would have been useful. But amps up in 10. Looks like a bit of setup already. Cyborg's fighting Jaski at the top. Link versus Mini. Decided only by the minigun's RNG. And amp goes to Aljas. He's only got 60 health though, so he needs to watch his back if anyone picks up a sniper rifle. Now down to 40, so we'll go down to 1 shock primary and... Oh, scuffs the shock ball on the wall. Could have been another double kill shock combo. And amp is killed. We'll go to SKL though. And we're all tied up. Shock's not happy about something. We're halfway through the game, and 4 aces, they're now 1 point in the lead. Make that tied. Belt goes to Shox though, so L7 finally get onto a belt. Been giving away a couple free ones. They just really want to stabilize here, get this next 100 armor, which they do, so that's really crucial. It's going to help them out a lot. We could be in for a close one here. I'm hoping that it's close and L7 wins, so we get to see a 4th map on Overlord. Hundreds up. That's going to go to Shox, but he's been airstrike from above. Does survive though, and actually has some armor remaining, which is miraculous. This amps up pretty soon. Great shock play by Shox. Link play by Shox, sorry. And he's now defending his teammate Kevlar, who's sat on the amp, those boots, allowing Shox to get up there and punish Aljas. And another amp goes to Shox. He's down really low though, wants to run over towards this 100. Oh, Sunraiser dies before he can get to the HP, but Shox actually needed that HP himself. Triple kill by Shox, 2 of which were on Eiko. And the score lead is now up to almost 10. Now up to exactly 10. So, great recovery by L7. There was a moment there where it was all tied up, but then they got the 100 armor and the belt, and they've been pushing ever since. Seems to be working. It did lose the last 100 armor though, and that's in the hands of Aiko, so let's see what he wants to do with it. First time this series that it looks like 4 aces are legitimately on the back foot, if only by 10 frags. They have almost guaranteed themselves this belt though. It's up in 3 seconds. No one from L7 is in a position to contest. 100 armor's up now as well. Aiko running there. Kevlar will pick it up, so that's at least a lifeline for L7. Able to deny that. Would have been huge if 4 aces got like 350 armor out of past few pickups. And still stable 10 frag lead here. But that was Kevlar going down to 2 blue players who are both situated above this amp, which is up in 0 seconds. Aiko, oh, he's there to pick it up. The shock ball that was running above his head wasn't popped, and he's able to get to that health before going down. Nothing up for a little while, so you've got about 20 seconds here that he can just play with this amp. Oh, he's killed his teammate though. And these players from red, they're pushing in. Shox is going in alone with the bio. Kevlar doesn't have the guns to support him, and now there's so many players. Shox actually gets the kill with the bio, but I think this one will go to Aiko for free. Now only a 5 frag lead. Man, if L7 lose this, they're going to be really gutted. There. The 2v1, Aiko yoinking someone into his teammate's flak cannon. Let's have a quick look at these damages. Very close on the damage front. Slight lead for L7. As Shox gets banged out the server by Aiko. Aiko now up to 4.3k damage. Another 100 goes to L7 though, so they aren't denying these items, but it's just barely keeping this scoreline from ticking down. Another bio kill for Shox though, making up for that headshot. Like Aljas got himself a bit of armor. He's sat behind this amp, which is up in 10 seconds. Belt's up in 7 as well. An amazing play would be if he can get the amp and then drop and have his teammates hold the belt. But it is Shox who gets the belt. Amp is now up. Goes to Sunraiser. Both majors going to red. Belt's already been lost though. Sunraiser needs to watch out as he's being flooded by Enforcer players. Hasn't hit a shot yet. Oh, I love this move. Oh, he hits the shot as well and craters. Sunraiser been cratering all game, all series even. That one definitely wasn't his fault though. Oh, what a spawn! Spawns and just picks up his gun. So maybe that cratering was actually a incredible 200 IQ play to replace its 1 HP with 100. But now only a 3 frag lead for L7. Getting concerning. 2 frag lead, 2 minutes left. This is still anybody's game. Would be gutting for L7 to lose this. Belt's up in 6. Oh, 4 aces was so set up. Jaski actually was shot twice by Shox there, despite his outrageously sneaky position. But L7 just not in time to pick up this belt. Goes the way of Aiko. Hurt quite considerably though. Oh! Sunraiser with a flak, perfect flak play, but all the players with armor go down. Jaski just, I saw 100 armor flash up on his screen and then instantly disappear. And what's happening now is what was happening all series long to L7 is that they'd bring the game up to roughly a tie and then they'd lose it again. It seems to be happening as now they're the ones running away with the score lead just a bit. Sunraiser escaping with this amp, doesn't want to be anywhere near anyone with a sniper rifle. And gets to the HP. Aljas gets the 100 though. Still only a 3 frag lead. This is super tenuous. Oh, Sunraiser could go down at any second, as he does. The amp is mostly burned though. Is Sunraiser going to just walk to... No, I thought he was going to get another amp run off the back of an amp that he dropped. But wasn't to be. SKL have a belt, has a belt now. He's dropping onto Sunraiser. This is probably a free kill. Sunraiser doing a great job of escaping that. Still a relatively stable 3 frag lead, but with 30 seconds left, It is really going to come down to the wire here. Oh, what a kill. Still a three frag lead, though. Nothing important up in this last 20 seconds, so it's all going to be based on frag power. I've seen a bit of a reset on all of the players. No one has armor. Oh, it's tied up with 10 seconds left. Aiko gets 100 armor. Let's follow him. Playing really well all series, as we expect. Looking for that last kill. Oh, I can see Shox' health is so low. But they are one frag in the lead. If Aiko can get this kill, he'll tie the game up, but unable to hit the flak in the last couple seconds. Uncharacteristic misses from Aiko will allow the game to slip through their fingers, despite the really great comeback there. 1 point game, but eventually goes to L7. That's exactly what we wanted, so we can see a fourth. I'm going to show you this amazing replay from Cyborg, because it was possibly the best player of the tournament so far. So he was missing a few shots here. But then this outrageous boot jump combo, double kill, instant 180 shot there, and then a massive flick onto the spawn player. Ultra kill, brilliant play by Cyborg. Love to see it. Always a flashy player. I'm going to be right back in just a second. Right, I'm back. And they didn't start without me, so that's good. Now, this is a map that 4Aces have been really good on all tournaments. I see a couple of people in chat saying Aljas, very good on this map. Always ends up with like 1,500 armors, which is a bit absurd. I can't remember how L7 have been playing on this map. I feel like we saw them in the group stage play each other on this exact map, and Aiko had some absurd 4 headshot or 2 headshot 4 kill or something down at the amp. So I think they've played each other, but I can't remember who won. Something interesting going on there. Not going to comment on it. Four aces are ready, so we're just waiting on L7 to kick this one off. Sunraiser's going to be happy because this map isn't very tall, so he's not going to be able to crater quite so regularly. It's an interesting play. Is there some kind of... Can you take damage from Bio behind there when you hit the ramp? Is that what's being set up there? Pretty naughty if it is. Alright, teams are ready. I'm going to switch on over to the game screen. Map 4. Still match point for 4Aces. Only one in the bank for L7, so they need to win this to stay in the tournament. If 4Aces win it, they go straight to the grand final. Hoping for another close one. But given the map scoreline of 2-1. This means that if L7 do go down to the lower bracket final, they've had a quite similar showing actually to Zanach's team, so that should be a good one as well. That is, of course, if they lose one of the next 2 matches. Still opportunity for them to go to the grand final here with some heroics. Oh, there goes all that armor SKL picked up, and this first belt's on its way up. All players from 4 Aces here. Cyborg goes in alone but gets gunned down by the Enforcer gunslingers. 100 goes to Sunraiser for free though, and Sunraiser has 150 HP, so he's actually mega stacked. Uh-oh. Switch back to Eiko. He still has most of that belt. And they're prepped for this amp. Kevlar runs in alone. That's a free one. Cyborg comes in a bit late. Makes an attempt to jump for the amp, but again, a bit late. Oh, what a flick. Sunraiser gets another 100 armor though. So it might be the story of Sunraiser versus Aljas on that 100. Both good players in that regard. Eiko's just doing so much damage though. And this next belt's coming up. Sunraiser's there already. And lots of players from L7 here. Someone gets in the face of Eiko, and that prevents them from getting to the belt, but someone else on... Who got the belt? It was SKL. Yeah, SKL managed to steal it. Shocking. But we are only 2 frag lead, made that 1 frag lead, so very contested first couple minutes. And actually all tied up. Looks like it's Aljas who owns the 100 armor position at the moment. But of course, 12 minutes mark coming up, that will be the synchronization point of the amp and the shield belt. Always interesting to see what happens there. And on this map they are reasonably split. Not necessarily by distance, but it takes a while to get between them when you have to run through a dangerous corridor. Looks like Aljas is going to be sat on the amp, defending it against Sunraiser, who steps on a rocket. But Aljas has to back away. Amp's coming up. Eiko's pushing in. And he's actually bullied everyone away from the amp. Switch over to him. He's on 11 HP. Kevlar takes him down with the Enforcer. Someone pick up this amp so I can switch to you. SKL actually has the shield belt. I don't know where the amp went. Did it drop through the map? Interesting. Don't know what happened there. But the amp is not in play. And SKL still has a full belt. Scoreline has been dramatically altered from where we last saw it. Now almost 10 frag lead for 4 Aces. Looking pretty comfortable. Wow, lots of armor just went the way of red, and Shock still has a shitload of HP. So actually pretty even on the stack front. Although they have just lost a lot of it without dealing much damage in return. This belt fight going to be quite key. SKL's already there. Shock's or Link Gun just doesn't have the DPS for this fight. He goes down to some rockets. I believe that... Oh! I don't know how they cleared that room out. Do they know the belt's up? Are they offsetting it? Is this a genius move? Okay, so now been offset by about 12 seconds, and it's a big offset. And if you're the team that does it and you all remember the time, then that can have ramifications for the next 4 or 5 belt grabs as the other teams show up early, and then you can clean them out. Amp's coming out as well. So the offset on the belt means that the amp will be offset. So if you get those amps, you can go straight to the belt and hopefully get that as well. So a bit of a risk taken by L7 there, but will be interesting to see if it pays off for them. An investment, you might call it. But a 12-point lead is how it stands at the moment. And you see, they're here early at the amp. So it's worked. They've forced 4 Aces to the amp early. The problem is... Oh, here they come, here they come. Okay, so it is working, but just not well enough. And they give up the amp eventually. At the belt, even. I think I called it the amp throughout that whole spiel. Never mind. Damage looking reasonably close. Certainly nothing insurmountable. Nothing an amp run couldn't fix. But 4-3 scoreline. Maybe a sign of things to come this map. And Amp's up at 5. Lots of L7 players here already, actually. Aljust does have the high ground with the rocket launcher, but he's been knocked down to low HP. Who is going to get this Amp? Will be Shocks. Not too healthy, and they're going towards the belt, and this is why they offset the belt, so they can get towards it, but just too late, unfortunately, and Aiko gets away with that. That would have been huge if Shocks could get himself onto the belt. But unfortunately, just couldn't, and he will, in fact, give up the Amp to SKL. He's on 10 HP. And he will escape without dying as well. Still though, we seem to have stabilised roughly a 10 frag score lead. Sunraiser gets himself another 100 but eats a combo, which reduces most of that stack. But the game is certainly not out of control. Still 8 minutes left, so over half the game. Plenty of time to make up for it. Nice rockets. And just checking with the armor, seems very evenly contested. The big difference maker is those belts. Only one belt for L7, even though they had a shot at getting the last two. Aiko gets one for free this time. That's pretty huge. Especially because this Amp's up pretty soon. If Aiko can keep most of this stack, then this is his opportunity to make this game no longer close. He's not happy with this 10 frag lead, wants to double it at least. As he's just neo-dodging these combos, taking no damage. Actually gets sidelined by some rockets here, and Sunraiser could take him down. Oh, those rockets are so close. Sunraiser actually goes down, even though he had 200 stack. And what a shot. Oh my god. More players in the Amp pit just going down. Filthy. This is looking like another free belt. And it just feels like L7 have lost grip on the power-ups. I'm assuming this is the map pick of 4 aces, so maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe L7 just aren't as confident on Overlord. It is a map where if you don't have the reps on it, then it can be difficult to get something going because you have to get to places early. It's a big map. You have to commit to different areas. And the longer you spend thinking about things as a team, the more time you lose. But interesting that 4 aces are actually, they seem pretty happy to just sit around the belt area. And it's working, they're still 14 frags up. Not an insurmountable lead, but with 6 minutes left and no sign of things changing, I'm starting to get a bit concerned for L7. Okay, he's going to walk away with another amp. Only a 25 HP, but we saw the last time he grabbed a low HP amp, he just healed himself right back up, which he's able to do. Always good to be conscious of the health packs in the map. And that's something that Aiko, for all his amp run capabilities, one of the things he does best is getting the amp and knowing exactly where to get HP as quickly as possible. And that allows his amp runs to have more impact, but eventually he goes down there. Amp will decay. Cyborg actually got the belt. I didn't see how that happened. But could finally be time for L7 to start building a bit more of a stack as a team, eating into this score lead, getting some more damage on the board. They're going to have to start doing it soon. Aiko has 1 HP. And Cyborg's cleaned out the amp room. Unfortunately, the amp is not up. And it's belt now. So he's going to have to walk into the Valley of Death here. Oh, rockets everywhere, and he will go down to a direct. That's the importance of a little bit of a height advantage. And 100 armor also goes to blue. So total reversal on those two major armors. And that's not a position you want to be in if you're L7. Great combo by Shocks, and that's neutered Aiko's push onto this amp, which is up in a couple seconds. Still though, 4 aces. How has Shocks done that? Unfortunately, that was essentially a suicide. Messy amp grab. And on this map, if you can't get the amp out of the room as soon as possible, then don't expect to hold on to that amp for long. And that's what's happened here. Cyborg's now got himself the amp. Damage lead down to 1300 or so. And L7, they really need to get onto this belt already because there's so many players from 4 aces there. They're just so prepared in all these belt fights. They're not going to take any risks. They don't have to. They can slow this game pace right down. Make it so that L7 desperately just need amp runs and need to go aggressive. And that's going to force them to make mistakes, overcommit to things, and eventually lose the game. Hiko and his team are in the privileged position of having quite a sizable score lead, now up by 20. Future is looking grim for L7. Looking like the L in L7 stands for lower bracket. As another 100 goes to blue.
3 minutes remain.
I believe this is the penultimate amp. And does go to Cyborg, but he dies. And that's what I was saying. If you can't get out of the room, then don't expect to live long. I think this is a belt finally for L7, but with 2 minutes left, 20 frag lead, make that 24. Gonna be a tough one. And they're not gonna be able to do it without belts. Let's see what Cyborg's up to. He has got himself a gun. Gonna have to do something wild. Another 100 armor. Goes to blue. We have 2 minutes left, 22 frags to make up. And I'm just not sure that L7 have it in them. Belts up in 5. We'll go to Aiko for free by the looks of things. Unless Shocks can push in. He does deny it from Aiko. But Jayski's there to pick it up. Let's follow him. As he cleans up, this amp's up in roughly 10 seconds. Sunraiser does have an armor, so he could get himself in on this amp, but as we've seen, most teams seem to be dedicating... both teams seem to be dedicating most of their players to these amp fights. And they've been able to do that because the belt was offset. Because normally, every other amp would be synchronized with the belt, so you'd have to choose. But L7 made that early decision to delay a belt. And you could kind of argue that that was their downfall, because they didn't really make much of a presence on those belt fights, despite knowing when it was up, despite knowing that it was delayed. And that meant that a lot of the amps went to high stack players on the side of 4 aces. Not the intention of the belt delay, I'm sure. There's another belt. I think he went to Kevlar, but he's just lost all of that because he doesn't have ammo. Hate to see it. Score lead is now 20. Seems relatively stable, but unfortunately that's going to be all she wrote in this game. And honestly pretty even on the armor grabs, other than the belts. And to be honest, throughout all of these games, felt like belts have gone the way of 4 aces. 100 armor's hotly contested, amps as well. Even if the amp time has been in the hands of 4 aces, a lot of the amp grabs have been contested. Also, worth noting that Aiko did 5.8k damage on Overlord, just a big map, generally low scoring, that's pretty huge. But there you have it. I do have a replay believe this is Aiko hitting a couple nice shots, feeding a headshot here. Bang. There you have it. To the surprise of approximately no one, 4 aces are in the grand final. I think it was just a question of whether or not it would be through the lower bracket or the upper bracket for them. Definitely a team that early on showed that they were maybe more powerful than their salary suggested. Anyway, Shocks can't complain about that because he's the one who did the salaries. Yes. L7 will drop to the lower bracket, so they're going to play Snatch's team at Wenzam, and honestly, aside from the really close game on Spacer, I feel like Snatch's team made a better showing against Aiko. Even though they lost 3-0, all 3 of the games, as far as I remember, were really close. Only really Spacer was close in its last series. 4 aces looking very comfortable otherwise. So we'll be very interested to see who takes that lower bracket final matchup. If I had to guess, I'd predict Snatch, although anything can happen, of course, once you get to the final stages of the tournament. Nerves start to become a thing. I believe both these teams have a couple of newer players as far as TDM is concerned, and some long-term veterans, so that should be a fun matchup. And then I'm sure the final will deliver some close games, as we saw today. Well, close game. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go get something to eat. I'll see you hopefully in the next few days. Sometime this week will be good to wrap up this tournament so that the community can move on and we never have to play another cup organised by Shocks ever again. Anyway, cheers, thanks for watching. See you guys soon.